So, during Gamescom 2021, a long trailer for a game called DokeV was unveiled. And yes, that's how you pronounce it. It was a strange, crazy, and interesting looking trailer, and it got a lot of people talking. So, what is it? We wanted to dive in with 10 things you need to know, some speculation, some big questions we have, and a bunch of little things in between. Starting off with number 10, it looks absolutely wild, but what is it? The developer's website describes the game as a creature-collecting, open-world action-adventure game. If you just watch the trailer, you might miss the creature-collecting part. There's so much going on. The game centers around a futuristic world where artificial intelligence is a driving force, and it's developed by this company, and these Dokebee are all missing because of robots and stuff, and part of the journey is the idea of you freeing these guys. The action looks intense, and the open world is absolutely gorgeous and immediately stands out as something pretty unique, even if at the moment we don't know too much about it. The trailer hits you with so much stuff that'll make your head spin. There's a lot going on in this game apparently. Like, did you see that part where the character did like a magic girl transformation into a pop star or something? Like, what's going on? Right now we can't say anything for certain, but there is one thing that we can say for sure, and that's our next point at number 9. It is not an MMO. This game is developed by Pearl Abyss, the people behind the fairly popular MMO, Black Desert Online, that's been going for years. And from what we remember hearing about this game before Gamescom, we thought that it was going to be an MMO, but apparently that's not the case here. Back in 2019, it was revealed as a family-friendly MMO, but after the Gamescom trailer, the developers got on Twitter and officially confirmed that it isn't an MMO, but rather an open-world action-adventure game like we said before. That sounds about as definitive as it gets, and the official website looks like any mention of the word MMO has been removed. A lot of the stuff we saw in the trailer did look pretty MMO-like, you know, the emote animations and the kids dancing together, the various mounts that they kind of showed your character riding, so you can see why people did think this was still an MMO, even if the developers clarified it wasn't. We thought it was important to mention that. I think for a lot of people, this is good news. You know, maybe some folks out there will be disappointed by this change, but for us, that just means the final product has a better chance of being something that they'll actually want to play. Now, next over at number 8, let's talk graphics, because it's pretty funny how this game, one that seems like most people would be unaware of, immediately got everyone's attention at the Gamescom presentation, and a big reason for it is the graphics. Everything in the trailer looked in-game, and it looks pretty damn good. I mean, you're looking at it right now, you know, but we just wanted to make special mention of the fact. But seriously, just look at some of this stuff. Like, the animations on your characters and the cute little Dokebees are great, but what really stands out is the pretty amazingly detailed open world. Some of these shots of the city look almost photorealistic, and the way you can move through the world really fast or even fly over it made the world feel pretty next gen in a way we haven't really seen much of this generation so far. There's a ton of praise here, you know, the particle effects during the battle, the dense and detailed streets of this unnamed city. Everything looks great, from the animations to the effects, and it just looks like a really beautiful and fun world to explore, and we think that's maybe what hooked people. Granted, we're very curious to see how the frame rate shakes out in the main game, but for now it looks cool. We do know that this game is running on Pearl Abyss's game engine. It's the same one that Black Desert Online works on, so at least if you're familiar with BDO, maybe you can at least have a grasp of what we could be looking at here. Next over at number 7, let's talk about the Dokebee themselves, you know, these creature guys. So according to an interview with developer at French website Games Online, and I quote, "Dokebees are born from people's dreams. For example, someone dreams of becoming a boxer but fails to make that dream come true. The impossibility of realizing his dream will give birth to the boxer Dokebee. The player will meet this type of Dokebee, befriend him, and they will live a story together inspired by this situation." And also, in terms of how you capture them, and I quote, "It's not about capturing the Dokebees, but making friends with them by meeting special conditions through their unique journeys and stories, using information from clues about the Dokebees you uncover all over the town and in the game world. Apparently, some are easy and some are way more challenging to capture in various ways. Apparently, the more time and story stuff you invest into them, you can make them stronger, too." There's only one of these guys that we actually have a name for so far. This little dude called Harang. They've shown off a few of these guys on the developer Twitter account, but from what we can see, he's the only one with an actual name. Just from looking at them, you definitely get more of a Digimon vibe to these guys than a Pokemon vibe. They're usually standing on 2 legs and are often wearing some kind of clothing. We know that they assist you in battle somehow. This is most clearly seen by certain moves that look like team-up actions, like this part with the cat-looking Dokebee, where it does a little dance beside you while you're blasting a group of enemies with confetti and playing cards. Or this part where a big big Dokebee flips you in the air, you fire a rocket, and then fall back down on its stomach. Another team up has you doing an attack with this little guy in a hoodie who has a clock for a head, and another one has a pink sloth-looking guy with you when you kick a bomb forward. In the trailer, we really only see these guys out during combat, but from what this little bit of screen time is, they've got a lot of charming details, like how they dance around and cheer you on when you're doing that capture thing near the end of the trailer. It does look like they've each got their own unique dance here. So really, we don't yet know much about these guys, but we like what we've seen so far. So we're excited to see where this goes. The idea of befriending over actually specifically capturing could make for a fun gameplay mechanic, but will it be addictive or will it be compelling? We have to wait and see. Now next over at number 6, let's talk about those movement options. It looks like there's so many, it's almost overwhelming. There's of course the skateboard and roller skates that feature pretty prominently in the trailer, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's an umbrella you can use to hover in the air, a llama you can ride, and these little jet boots that we see your character use in combat. But that's still not it. You can swing through the air, there's some kind of double jump as seen with the umbrella, there's a jet ski that lets you zip around on the water, there's even a little kiddie car you can tool around in. There's a lot of movement options we see, and we have no idea if the game somehow limits how many of these things you can use at any one time or not. Is there some kind of Breath of the Wild stamina system? Can you only have 1 or 2 specific powers equipped at any given time? We just don't know, but the fact that they give you so many tools for getting around the world looks like a lot of fun. Now over at number 5, the combat. It looks very active. From what we've seen in the trailer, there's enough that we can say a few things about how it works and what we expect from it. It's got all the staples of an action RPG. You can pull off combos and dodge and use a variety of weapons to take on enemies. Of course, this is where the creature collecting aspect comes in. It looks like your creatures, like we said, assist you in battle in a way that actually kind of reminds us of Ni no Kuni 2 or the Kingdom Hearts series. Which Kingdom Hearts had the monster collecting in it? Oh yeah, Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS. What we see here actually reminds us of that. And check out the background during fights. It looks like a tornado-like barrier appears during combat to create a little arena you fight in, which is a very action RPG kind of thing to do. And while some parts of the combat make it look very Kingdom Hearts-esque, some of the other shots look a lot like Monster Hunter. This little part where you're fighting a big lizard, you're doing a big Monster Hunter dodge, and in a way, your Dokebee allies could function a lot like Palicos or Palamutes from the series. And if you look closely at the trailer, you can tell that there appears to be 2 different versions of the dodge. There's a standard roll, but there's also a kind of teleport that looks a lot faster than your character does sometimes. It looks like they're only doing it with the jet boots on, but we can't say for sure if that's why the dodge animations look different. One scene shows your character zooming into the air and then transitioning into a swing animation that looks a lot like the wire bug from Monster Hunter Rise. It looks like you can swing multiple times in the air in this game though, which is pretty cool. We also now know that thanks to that interview, there will be co-op elements where you can take on bosses together with your friends. Details are kind of vague, but the developers discussed some competitive elements, you know, not necessarily PvP, but something at least where you can play together socially. Now over at number 4, there are more weapons than you might think. Regarding the combat, it's hard to say at this point how different weapons will come into play. We primarily saw this toy hammer used as the main melee weapon, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is the main weapon you use for fighting enemies in this game. It might be, and it being used in the trailer suggests that, but we can't say yet. What we did notice though is how many other weapons you can potentially use. Some of these only appeared for a few seconds, so they're easy to miss, but they're there. Like this bouncy ball thing that's shown for a bit. Is it a Dokebee power? Is it an alternative move that complements your normal attacks, or is it just a different weapon? And there were a few different long-range weapons shown, like this toy pistol that fired accurate shots, a rocket launcher-looking weapon that created huge explosions, and a little bow and arrow. There was also a bomb weapon shown that may have just been part of some kind of team-up attack, and a weapon that shoots confetti in a wide area. So there's actually a lot of options just seen in this trailer. Maybe the toy hammer is your main weapon, maybe not, but it looks like there's a lot of different weapons you can use here. Now at number 3, it looks like there are activities and character customization. For this, we're getting into a little bit more speculation territory, but the trailer shows your character doing a lot of stuff, and with this being an open world game, it's only fair for us to assume that there must be some activities you can do between all the monster battling. There's a lot of different things we see in this trailer that may or may not be things you can just do, like this part of the start of the trailer where your character is stacking rocks rocks. Is it an activity that you can actually do, or just part of a cutscene? I'm not sure, but they would do something weird like making stacking rocks a compelling minigame. I don't know, I want to see it. One thing that definitely just looks like a thing you can do is flying a kite, which is prominently shown during the trailer. Maybe it's really basic and it's just an emote, but maybe not. Maybe it's got some mechanics to it. We also see a character fishing, but it doesn't look like the player character, so this may just be part of a cutscene. Still, we all know open world games love their fishing minigames, so it's a possibility. Or that part near the start where kids are playing some kind of game. Is that something that you can participate in? Is it a little animation? It's hard to tell. A few other scenes show your character releasing a paper lantern and hammering in a little wooden post. These might be little actions you can do in the open world. And even though absolutely nothing about customization was shown in the trailer, the fact that the outfit and appearance of your character seems to change between shots of the game strongly implies that there's some level of character customization. We can see your character wearing jerseys, polo shirts, a hoodie, so there's lots of options here it seems like. Seriously, almost every shot shows your character in a completely different costume. So there's gotta be at least a lot of clothing options in the game. Character creation and customization makes sense, especially if this game was originally being built as an MMO and now it's just an adventure. We expect something like that to probably carry over. Now down to number 2, if you're interested, you can get the song. The song used in the trailer, called Rockstar by Galactica, is freely available for people to download and use for any content you want, which is actually nice. On the developer's official Twitter, they specifically said that they own the rights to the track and that there won't be any copyright issues if you use it. Of course, this is them saying that, not us, so don't blame us if you still run into issues, but still, the song is gaining a little bit of popularity online, so the fact that you can use it apparently without issue is pretty cool. Now down to number 1, all that housekeeping information. At the moment, we don't know the release date. It's still up in the air. It is definitely more likely than not a 2022 game rather than a 2021 game, but anything can happen. We also don't really know what platforms it will be releasing on. They have confirmed that it's coming to consoles and PC, but what consoles specifically, we don't know. This one looks about as next gen as anything, so we'd assume PS5 and Series X and S, but right now, we just don't know. Apparently, the developer is going to reveal a release window sometime in the near future, so when they do, hopefully they'll specify what platforms we can expect the game to appear on. But that's DokeV. We just wanted to make a video about it. Some speculation, some things to know, some big questions we have. It seems like it's potentially a fun one, but we want to hear from you guys in the comments what you're thinking. Did you see this trailer like us and go, what the hell is this? This looks kind of cool. Or maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. Whatever you're thinking about this game, definitely let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. Now, if you enjoyed this video and had fun with us, clicking the like button is all you got to do. It really helps us out. And if you're new, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.